Right off the bat, corporations are not people and money is not speech. Since the misguided 2010 Citizens United Supreme Court ruling, dark money groups have funneled nearly $1 billion into our election system. And the 2020 election easily became the most expensive election in American history. It was more than double the total cost of the record-breaking 2016 election cycle. So this is going in completely the wrong direction. And this money makes elected officials beholden to corporations, to billionaires, to their wealthiest donors. And even when they may not be completely influenced by the money, the trust that people put in us is compromised when they think that we might be more beholden to money and when they know that our real job is to work for the people. So that's why, for me, from the minute that I announced that I was running for Congress 7 years ago now, I pledged that I would not take any corporate PAC contributions. In fact, at the time that I did that, I was one of only a very tiny handful of members of the House who did not take corporate PAC money. Today, I'm happy to say that we have over 70 members of Congress who don't take corporate PAC money. And our Congressional Progressive Caucus PAC, which I also now co-chair, does not take corporate PAC contributions. So we are making progress, but unfortunately, there is still way too much money in our elections and too much deference that's given to corporations as if they were people. When it comes to getting dark money out of politics, the American people actually agree with us. More than 75% of people say that there should be limits on the amount of money that individuals and organizations can spend on campaigns. And 90% of people say that it's important that donors don't have more influence than others in our political system. So keeping this money out of politics means reestablishing trust with voters and changing the system. And it really is a matter of racial and economic justice. We live in a country where the richest 1% of Americans own more than 30% of the nation's wealth. And we know that the wealth gap is particularly staggering for Black and brown families. White families have an average wealth that's more than 14 times as much as Black families. And with a Supreme Court ruling that makes money equivalent to speech, people of color will inevitably be silenced by millionaires and billionaires. So the We the People Amendment, which I proudly plan to reintroduce in the 118th Congress, would finally return power to the people and corporate constitutional rights, reverse Citizens United, and ensure that our democracy really is of the people, by the people, and for the people, not corporations. So very simply, the amendment says that corporations are not people, money is not free speech. It clearly states that inalienable rights belong to human beings only, not artificially created corporate entities, and that campaign contributions are not a form of free speech and must be regulated. As Supreme Court Justice Stevens said in 2010, corporations have no consciences, no beliefs, no feelings, no thoughts, no desires. They are not themselves members of we the people, by whom and for whom our Constitution was established. So my We the People Amendment ensures that politicians aren't beholden to big pharma, big tech, or big oil. It ensures that every single voice is heard in this country. And whether you make minimum wage or you run a Fortune 500 corporation, your vote and your voice are equal, and that we all have a say in who represents us. So thank you so much for your work. Continuing this fight together, I truly believe we have the ability to move the needle on this critical, necessary work and create an election system that is fair and just.